So Meg hopped on live about a couple days ago and was like, hey, I'm fine. I'm here. Um, I'll play a little bit of it. I don't know if you guys seen it, but I'll play a little bit of it, I
Had to
guess.
get surgery to get the shit taken out, get the bullets taken out.
Uh, oh, it's not playing. Why it's not playing? Anyways, um, so yeah, like she said, she had surgery.
I was protecting
Okay,
anybody.
there it is.
I just wasn't ready to speak. That's not no shit you just immediately get on the internet and start talking about. And that's a lot of y'all motherfucking problem. Y'all take y'all whole life to Instagram and Twitter and make it a fucking diary, and that's not me.
Yes, there's cussing. Deal with it. People who are listening.
So fuck y'all and them fake ass vlogs and y'all fake ass sources and my fake ass friends. But on a positive note, just taking some time to myself has definitely made me realize how to move forward and how to protect my energy. I'm so nice. Imagine being 25 and you don't have both your parents. My mama was my best friend. I'm still really not over that. So you kind of try to feel like your space with a bunch of people that you think is making you happy.
All right, that's enough. How do y'all read this situation? This whole thing. I have a question, a deeper question, but from the outskirts of what y'all see, like how, especially at this point of Meg's career.
Messy situation, unfortunate incident that I mean, shoot, I don't know how it active. I'm supposedly hanging out with a friend, and then that friend shoots me in the feet.
Yeah.
I don't know what my mindset would be like, especially when it comes to the whole success, the fame, and then and getting shot. Like, what?
Yeah.
we know in this music industry, violence happens, but you don't expect something like this to ever happen to anybody, and you don't wish it upon anyone to get shot. So I feel for her. She's clearly in a rough spot. Some of the stuff that she mentioned was telling. She cussed out any fake friends that she had. So to me, it's like, okay, so people didn't seem to support you during this time, and that's very telling. That you expect leeches when you're this popping, when you're this famous. You expect leeches, but it takes an incident like this to expose them. Oh, she's upset, and family to her is everything, and she didn't have family by her side. So I just feel sorry for her, and you can tell that it's very emotional and tougher, and it's crazy how people love to laugh about it. And it's something that she said, which is completely true. Everybody takes to social media and posts their daily lives. Like, hey, go ahead, do that. But there's a good number of us who don't move like that at all.
Yeah.
Our life is not an open diary for strangers. And so people coming to her, attacking her, coming at her, saying that, oh, she's protecting someone just because she didn't take to the internet immediately. If I got shot, the first place I'm going
hospital
is definitely not the internet. I'm not about to be on Twitter like, yo, I just got shot. Yo, like so. No, what? I'm not hopping on social media for a minute. So, it's the way people reacting, it's annoying. Let Shorty process. Let her try to understand what has just happened to her. And it sucks because I'm a big Tory Lanez fan, but this is ridiculous. Yeah. This is utterly ridiculous.
Let's blow a line.
TMZ, Hollywood Unlocked, Shade Room. they've put us in a world where, yes, of course, we have social media and instant access to information, but they've put it on steroids now to where there's this expectation that when any news comes out, that the person who was at the center of it, that we need to hear from them ASAP. Like we need to have a take from them or the inside scoop from them ASAP. And in this space now, we are in a position where being first normally ends up putting us in a position where we're wrong. Look back at the Kobe Bryant situation. TMZ, the first ones to report it, and that's how Vanessa Bryant found out. Like, instead of us having consideration for humanity, we now see people as just another story, as just another news break, as just another opportunity to prove that we're on top. So when something as serious as a woman getting shot at in a vehicle, like I was thinking about it like this, and I'll ask this question to you guys. Do you feel like this situation is more severe or at least on the same level as Chris Brown and Rihanna?
I think it's probably worse. It's worse.
But people aren't going as ham about it as they did when it came to Chris Brown and Rihanna, because we become so desensitized. So we have this case where a woman has been shot at by a male in a vehicle and had to have surgery for it, and people just look at it like, oh, okay, well, that's all right. And instead, they now turn on the victim and say, well, because you didn't give us a scoop immediately and you waited to talk, you're protecting someone or covering up for someone. What?
Yeah.
Like,
allowing the rumors and
to
take hold and become fact, as in that, oh, Tory felt threatened. He's only 5'3". I don't care. You pulled a gun on
a
woman.
gun is a gun.
A weapon.
Like, instead of removing yourself, I mean, all right, I get it. There are situations that can look ambiguous, that can kind of be either way, heated in the moment. You look at Kareem Hunt, you look at Joe Mixon, where there's somewhat of a gray area in terms of why didn't you just remove yourself? Why did you let yourself get angry, et cetera, et cetera. In this situation, I'm looking at it and I say, Tory, you there's no reason. It could have turned into a shouting match, whatever. You could have removed yourself, but to pull out a gun which, oftentimes when you pull out a gun, in my mindset, and this has been formulated by some dope ass lines from movies, is if you pull out a gun, you better be ready to use it. And you shot somebody in the foot, not once, but twice or more in both feet. Thing like that, it's not fatal. It's not fatal. You don't know. There could have been any sort of complications that could have led it to being fatal. There could have been any sort of complications that could have led her to losing her feet. Then what happens then? You legit just stole away someone's career. Yeah. For what? For what reason? Because you got angry?
And there had to be a reason, because for you to shoot at someone's feet twice,
it
wasn't like someone hit your wrist.
There is no legitimate reason for a car.
If you're in a confined space and you pulled out a firearm and used it, I could understand if you shot it once. Oh man, like there was like the safety was off and you didn't realize it. Maybe you pulled it out and you were brandishing and then, hey, like you need to chill, and you threatened to shoot and then you realized safety. No, you fired twice at her feet. Now, granted, okay, Meg Thee Stallion, what is she, reportedly 5'10", so she's a whole 7 inches taller than Tory Lanez, a whole head taller. But listen, sir, you fired a firearm.
A whole firearm.
A woman. Like, this is what I think people are not understanding. As much as we are in this time and we are fighting for, equal rights for blacks and people of color, I think we said it probably a month ago on this program, that women have been largely ignored in this space. Still haven't arrested the cops who killed Breonna Taylor. Yeah. Okay. Women normally get the short end. And this is the case right now. What was it? Chris Brown and Rihanna. That was, I think, 12 years ago. That was 12 whole years ago, and there was an uproar, and people are to this day
Are still bringing
still bringing it up. Honestly, kind of different, kind of the same. Like way people bring up Chris Brown in response to that situation, Chris Brown's career and that situation and together is the same way people bring up Michael Vick and his situation with the dog fighting. Yeah, we love Chris Brown, but
it's always parallel. They'll never separate. Parallel.
They're in the same breath.
Yeah.
Tory Lanez, I'm not saying we cancel Tory Lanez or destruction of his career, but we need to take moments like this. These are moments where we need to look as a people in the mirror and where in the world do we find this okay? This is not okay. Apparently, there's a petition floating around on change.org for Tory Lanez to be deported back to Canada. Partially funny, partially not.
I thought it was funny. I'm sorry. The fact that your career is pretty much if they're doing that, your career is almost pretty much done unless you do something miraculous.
The other thing, he was charged with carrying a concealed firearm that he didn't have a license to carry, but police aren't really pushing the issue with him. This dude shot at a woman in a car. A woman he shot at a woman using his firearm. This wasn't just slapping her around or hitting her, which is not any better, but you shot at her.
Yeah.
To Abe's point, when you pull out a gun in spaces like this, we know based on what we hear in some watching films, you don't just pull that out just to pull it out.
Yeah, I think
so. This is a case we need to take seriously. It's something we need to take seriously. Don't just look at this as and flip it and say, well, this is, Meg, why didn't you say nothing? We would have known how serious it was if you spoke up. The fact that you heard a man pulled out a gun on a woman.
Right.
And how many people have this in their family history that you don't talk about this kind of trauma where your dad pulled out something on your mom or your dad laid hands on you on a family or uncle laid hands on auntie, whatever it looks like. And so we're so used to keeping these things under the rug and acting like, oh, well, we just don't talk about that because why is Uncle so-and-so in prison or why is everybody a little jumpy around him? We don't talk about that. And so we allow these things to carry now into the public eye with celebrities, and we just act like, but here's the problem. Anytime you place a Band-Aid over an open wound, you end up giving it an opportunity to actually get infected. You got to give that thing room to breathe and give it the light of day to breathe and air to breathe. And these situations, we should give the air to breathe and be honest about it so healing can take place. Meg's career will forever be marked by this.
Yeah.
She got shot. Why do people think that someone getting shot is just going to run to social media? I mean, when we see people do that, the first thing that comes to mind is, oh, this is for clout. Like, when they're in the hospital, they just got out of surgery, like, no, I just got shot. I look at that, I'm like, why does it feel necessary to post that on social media? Like, if you want to update your fans or just, not even your fans, because regular people do this too. When they just get out of surgery for injuries, they're like, yo, just made it out. Can't believe it. Thank the Lord. It's like, on the one hand, I get it. On the other hand, I'm like, you looking for sympathy? You looking for numbers? Because you're not going to find out via social media that something happened to me. Not from me. You ain't going to see Abraham post like, oh, Dan, did you hear Abraham said he got shot? Oh, my God, Abraham was just in a car accident. He just sent a picture. No. So I don't understand. People want to be in everyone else's business so bad in this era. And that's the curse, unfortunately, of the social media era. That's the curse.
Yeah,
they feel entitled to knowing the everyday moves of anybody.
Yeah. No, I think Meg's career is definitely not just marked by it, but it's definitely changed. I think her music will change. I think her circle will change. I think just even like listening to this live, like you can tell the shock factor of the fact that, yo, I really got shot. Like, this is really happening. And yeah, I know a lot of people got a lot to say as far as how come you don't say his name, or when you got investigated and all, when this whole, of course, when police got involved, how come you didn't, how it seemed like you're protecting this man. The thing that I feel like people have to understand is like, okay, let's just pump the brakes. let's just walk in her shoes for like maybe 5 seconds here. I'm a 25-year-old woman, just got shot twice in my feet. I am now traumatically, like, I am going through so much in the little bit of time that I have. So I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about a name. I'm worried about my feet. And I know that sounds funny, but I'm being serious. Like, I'm worried about my body for the most part. And so even now, she's realizing, and you can clearly hear it in her voice, she's realizing the stuff that's around her that was phony, that was fake, that was like, I thought my life before this was fine, but what I was living was not real as far as the fake friends, all the stuff that's around me. So I'm not saying this is a good thing, but I will say that I'm glad that she's able to, from what it appears, to see what needs to change, to see the growth where she needs to grow in as far as maybe surroundings, people, because she's 25. You know, it's not like she's 30, a 30-year-old artist or anything like that. There's still a lot of stuff that she was learning in the midst of all of this. So I think, just to Abraham's point, like, a woman got shot and she's not going to be able to think of a name at that moment and start spreading the name on social media and not care about her body and her health. That's a traumatic experience. Someone who you thought, this is my homeboy, and they turn around and do something for whatever the reason is, especially if you're saying, I didn't do nothing, I didn't touch him, I didn't, nothing for him to do a such thing. So, you know, that's just my 2 cents of how people can really pressure people, not just celebrities, people into doing something that isn't called for at that moment in time. If something happened to me and my family, I don't want no questions about, you know, this sounds really random, but I'm just using that example. If something happened to my family, my son, for example, I don't want you asking me about what I'm going to do tomorrow. Like, I don't want you asking me about, you know, you going to work tomorrow. No, I'm not, dummy. I'm going home to my son to take care of my son. He just got hurt. Like, it's just a lot of stuff that we don't really think about. We always look for the name, the headline. We look for whether it's money, whether it's clout, or whatever it is. We look for it first without actually looking at the person. And when we don't look at the person, we create a lot of traumatic experiences for other people to now have to walk through and try to figure out how to live life and how to live through this social media bubble that we're in. So it's a sticky situation for sure.
And it's been a hard year for Meg. Let's not forget.
Oh, yeah.
At the top of this year, she had the record label dispute. And they were trying to limit her from. So Meg is essentially, in a year, suffered both financial, mental, emotional, and physical abuse at the hands of men. And it's just been looked at by a lot of people as a joke. And it's been looked at as, well, it's just another headline. When you have, like you mentioned, she's a 25-year-old woman.
She's 25.
Like, she's not. She's still young. She still has a lot of life to live. And in the space of a year, you have endured some crazy stuff, and people have just looked at it as another joke, have just looked at it as another headline or hot take, instead of looking and saying, how do we support and uplift this young lady?
Yeah.
You were literally held contractually, so to speak, in chains. We heard about what happened with her contract that she signed, and it was a joke to people that, oh, she should have known better, signed a better contract and all of that, and she's not making what she should be, and that's her fault. And then now you get shot, and it's not even looked that seriously either. Can you?
And it's not even your fault. And I'm going off what she says, what she allegedly said.
What she says, not even her fault. So when you look at, we talked about it last time, mental health, the mental health side of things.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot to take. A lot. And I know people may look and say, well, she got the hot girl summer persona. She over there twerking for the gram and doing all of that stuff. Set all that stuff aside.
What they gotta do with getting shot?
People need to separate the entertainer and their entertainment from the humanity. from from them as a human being. And if you cannot look at someone as a human being and say, listen, that's ridiculous. I don't care how famous you are. What if you're a social media influencer, if you're an entertainer or celebrity, that is not good what you've just experienced as a human being. And my heart goes out to you.
Yeah, no, for sure. And just last thought that just came to me, I really believe if she didn't go through all this stuff that she went through this year with men, her music would be entirely different. I think it would be entirely different because a lot of people relate to. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was gonna say, I think like the hot girl summer stuff and all of that, I think that's gonna disappear into the background. What we're about to hear, we're about to hear, I think, a really gritty.
We're gonna hear Megan, not the Stallion. Hear Megan.
No Stallion out here. It's gonna be straight. It might be Meg the Mustang. That's what we might
for
hear
real.
Next. She coming hard in the paint.
Folks, it's gonna be more savage type vibe.
Yeah, and I'm excited for that. Honestly, like I feel like that's where real music can happen when you're able to, use pain, use confusion, use doubt, use trauma in the right way. If you're able to steer it the right way as an artist, you can make a lot of great stuff happen, but definitely prayers up for that situation, and just women in general who go through that stuff like that. It's uncalled for. It's just uncalled for. When you pull out a weapon against a female, it don't matter what they did. It don't matter. It just don't matter. You pull out a weapon, we're automatically, as men, maybe automatically is not the right word, but naturally, genetically stronger than a woman. It don't matter how tall you are. So it's still there. But the fact is, you pull out a weapon, it's way below the belt. It's uncalled for. It doesn't need to happen. And
in a confined space. But you're in a moving vehicle.
That I don't understand. I don't understand at all. The thing is, this situation is really loopy. Nobody has the answer. But we do hope Meg, as an artist, can really use this for the betterment of not just the industry, but betterment of her career. I do believe her career will take a sharp turn in a good way. And I think she's growing in this. I think this experience is something that is actually going to help her. And so hopefully her circle changes. Hopefully the people that she thought was there will fall off and she's able to get healthy and have a healthy circle. So we'll definitely